morning, everyone. Today, we all have gathered here to celebrate National Doctors' Day. It's my pleasure to inform you that Dr. Nazima studied in our beloved institution, who studied from junior KG to 10th and completed her 10th standard in the year 1998, securing 85 percentage, and completed her 12th standard in the year 2000 by securing 95 percentage. She has done her MBBS and DCH from Bangalore Medical College, and I pledge to stay healthy and clean through exercise and good hygiene. Children, now let us welcome our Dr. Nazima Tabassum. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, teacher. Yeah. So good morning to all. So hope all the kids and teachers are doing fine. So I really thank the school, the management, and the teachers for giving me this opportunity to attend this celebration for the Doctors' Day today. So I take this opportunity to thank my own teachers from the Standard English School,
Thank you,
who
ma'am.
with whose guidance, I could lay the stepping stone for my career. Okay. So what I would like to do is just take this opportunity to, now the time has changed. The schools have, changed from classroom to just, the screen, the online videos and things. So being a pediatrician, what I would like to do is just give some tips on the screen time, so that it would be helpful for the teachers and also the parents who can really take care, because too much of screen exposure is what the parents are really concerned today, as we keep seeing in the OPDs when we sit in our clinics. So what is more important in today's life is uh, restricting the screen time. So what is a healthy screen time? It is nothing but it is a balanced screen time, like how we have a balanced food with all the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and then vegetables and fruits, equally balanced. So the screen time also needs to be balanced in everyday life. So it is nothing but you take out time equally for sleep. See, the sleep for kids especially has to be at least 8 to 9 hours in a day, and their playtime has to be at least 1 hour in a day. So the rest of the time they have to spend equally for doing school work, and family time is more important. They play around, then they give some time to their hobbies, and after doing all these things, the small amount of time, like 1 hour or so, which is left out, that can be used as actually the screen time in the sense for it should be for used for healthy purposes. Now what are those healthy purposes? Is nothing but the educational purposes. So they can use it for educational purpose, recreational purpose, and it can be used for for art, music, so that they wind out from the day's tiredness. Okay, so this is how the screen time has to be monitored and then balanced in a day's life, in a day's time. Okay, so the other thing is okay. So the other thing is, very important thing is, now when to start giving screens. I mean, the screen is nothing but a smartphone or a laptop or a computer or a tablet to the kids. So it is basically like less than 2 years you completely avoid. Don't ever give, try to give. So occasionally the kids who are less than 2 years can make a video call to some of the far relatives, and then they can just speak to them. You can actually start introducing the screen from 2 years, after 2 years of life. Okay, so 2 to 5 years is when it needs to be introduced, and it has to be restricted to less than 1 hour in that period. So it should not go beyond that. And uh, after 5 years, it is the time when the schooling actually starts with a proper thing. And after 5 years, it is the time when, whenever you're giving a screen to the kids, you will have to actually sit with the kids and then monitor what actually they are seeing. So it is very important for the parents to be sitting with the kids and then monitoring what they are seeing. And gradually as the child grows, the parents should speak out to the children, like what is actually useful, what is to be seen, what are the restrictions, what they are not supposed to see. Like there are some apps for educational purpose they can use, some for some, they can for some art videos, some music videos, and those are the things which they are allowed. And at the same time, parents have to caution the kids, like what can be harmful. Okay, so like what is restricted. Okay, so what they're not supposed to see. And so you should also warn them about the fake news and not to share the personal details, the passwords, and such things. So all this happens, when you share a friendly relationship with your kid. So that is when, the kids can fall back on the parents as well as the teachers, to actually know what can be done and what is the right and what is wrong. So these are some of the tips I thought I should really share with today's thing, so that it can be helpful for the kids, the parents, as well as teachers. So the other thoughts like vaccination, taking care of your health, the balanced diet, all this. I think Dr. Syed has really he has concentrated on those things, and I don't want to repeat the same. So if any doubts from anyone regarding anything, so I can answer.
Ma'am, I want you to
Yeah,
give some tips regarding, because this they are saying this third wave is affecting the children. I want
yeah.
you to give a tips to the our parents and our kids.
Yes. So, yeah. So, third wave can affect the children. It is an assumption. It is yet to be seen whether it will really affect them. In all the ways, children have been getting affected, though in a smaller percentage compared to the adults. So, in the third wave now, because now what is the reason for this assumption is because the adults are getting vaccinated and the kids, the vaccine is still not, there are no trials yet for the vaccine for the kids. So it has just started, the trials have started and the vaccine is still not out. Once the trials get completed, only then they will start vaccinating the kids. So the thing is, that is why when the kids are not getting vaccinated, so it is more important that at least the parents get vaccinated so that they don't bring the infection back home to the kids. That is the most important thing. So the other thing is like the general taking care of the general health. Eating a balanced food, keeping your immunity status high. Okay, so not preventing the junk foods. Okay, so all this the junk foods, that will, because it is not rich enough in nutrition, so it will try to bring down the immunity. It will not help in boosting the immunity. So with kids, it's difficult because they like the junk food. It's important to, you can occasionally give them that, but it should not be made a regular habit that they keep regularly eating just the junk and they try to, ignore the balanced diet. So that is one thing. The other thing is, wearing a mask properly every time you are stepping out of the home. So it is wearing a mask doesn't mean like you just wear it and pull it below the chin. That is actually not the way. It is for everyone in general, not just the kids, the parents, the all the elders. Okay, so the nose and the mouth need to be clearly, masked. So the mask has to stand on both the nose and the mouth and should not be pulled below the chin. Then there is no use in wearing the mask. The other thing is the hand hygiene. So you should just keep, washing the hands every time you're just going out and touching some things or going out buying something. So immediately as you come back home, just wash the hands thoroughly with soap and water at least for 20 seconds. So there is a method for washing the hands also. I think there are a lot of videos on that. So parents and kids can really see those videos and learn how to wash hands. So these are general some of the basic things. So yeah, so vaccination is the most important thing. So now that it's open for all, I think the parents should really get vaccinated so that they don't bring the infection back home to the kids. So if they are protected, the kids will also get protected. The other thing I would just like to highlight in this era is it is not just the physical health of the kids which is important, it is also the mental health. So, especially when the kids are not allowed to go out and play, not allowed to meet their friends. They're just sitting at home doing nothing. Now this is the time when they get addicted to the screen, and there are other mental issues, like they may get depressed, they may become anxious for all the silly reasons and things. So parent, that is where the family time becomes important. I request all the parents to give some quality family time to the kids. That is more important. So once this starts happening, the kids, the parents give enough time, they start interacting or playing. I know it's difficult, but then it's needed, it and it really goes a long way in maintaining the mental health of the kids. And once the parents start noticing that the kid is really started to stay apart, not mixing, not speaking so much, then it's better they consult a doctor so that they get evaluated and get to know what it is. It's always better to prevent these type of things, and all this happens with spending more family time rather than spending time with the gadgets. To clarify, I once
Thank
again thank the school and the teachers for giving me this opportunity. So I was feeling nostalgic. I was remembering my own school days. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, students.